Hello everyone, Paulo P13 here, and welcome to today's video. This video is for all of the people that are new, or really rather new, to Marvel Strike Force. I'm going to be going over the game just in general terms, in general things, and some quick advice and some quick things that you need to know just about how the game works and things you need to know in order to be as successful as possible. Now, to be clear, this is not saying which teams to build, which this, which that. No, not that in this video. That will be coming really soon, as I'm going to be making a full beginner's guide to Marvel Strike Force. I'm just working through any variations I want to do given changes in circumstances. But this one, I'm just covering the general game mechanics, some advice about it, and some details of like, this is very important, this is not as important, some stuff like that. So I believe this is going to be very helpful for newer players or anyone that just really wants to get a better understanding of how the game works on a fundamental level. Anyways, thank you a lot for watching, and let's get into this. Okay, just a quick bit of information. Yeah, normally the outlook looks different. I'm still in Sicily, as I will be for like the rest of this month. So yeah, I'm just making do with what I got. But anyways, this game, I love this game, and I've been playing this game for really a long time. But there's a lot of information that people really don't quite understand when they come to the game. So that's why I'm doing this. So I'm just going to go through various aspects of the game and just give you some quick information. First off, we're going to start with, what are we starting with? Let's start in challenges. These challenges, they come through 3 times a week, and they're very important. They each have their own specific requirements for what you're going to need and give you various materials. Why are these so important? Well, they're guaranteed resources 3 times a week, and it can really help you go forward. So whenever these are available, you have unlimited amount of attempts to beat them, because if you lose, it doesn't waste a token, and then you get 3 attacks once you've beaten it. So like you can get 3 victories at any given time. So my biggest recommendation is make sure you get as high as you can, high as possible with these, and make sure you really put an effort on getting as high on the tiers as possible, because it's basically free uses, and you might as well just keep trying, because these will be helping you get very far in the game. Then we're going to go in Arena really quick. Arena is an important mode, but maybe not as important as a lot of people originally said. As you can see, I'm 30th right now, but I've also been busy, so I'm normally top 20 range in my Arena shard. But why is it important? Well, you get power cores. These power cores are actually very important in the game, and is the premium currency which you can use for a lot of things. I will be explaining power cores a little bit further on in this video, so stay tuned for that. But it is important, but it's not the only essential thing, because rank 55 versus rank 25 is a 50 power core difference, which is nice, but 50 power cores a day is very nice. But there are some other modes which just give you more important resources. But again, Arena is a rather important thing to know. If you hit set defense here, you can set a specific defense, and then when you hit go, you can pick a different offense, so you can have a different offense than defense, which in a lot of situations you will want to do. I know a lot of people know that, but not everyone does, so I just wanted to say that rather quickly. So now, since I've said that, I'm going to discuss power cores. Power cores are the premium currency in this game. You get tons of opportunities to use them for pretty much anything. I highly recommend saving your power cores for extra energy. So basically doing this over here, clicking that, and spending 50 power cores, or these 50, I don't even know what these are called, whatever they're called, campaign energy refresh currency, that's what they are. As much campaign energy as possible, and in some events, it's a nice idea to try and use power cores to refresh nodes, but that's not all the time. And also campaign events, power cores are very useful for that. You don't want to use them for opening orbs, that's not a really good value. So try and just use power cores mostly for energy, because energy is one of the most valuable resources in the entire game. Again, I said events, most events are pretty great. Try and give your best effort for all the events that do come to the game. I can't really go more specific because they change rather often. Milestones, claim your milestones, and it's a nice idea to try and measure your spending of resources in order to be accurate to the milestones. So just keep an eye on the milestones and what you're getting. You don't need to complete all the milestones every time. For instance, gold spending, you're not going to be able to afford it, but it's nice to get as much resources as possible and try and keep it with those with that in mind. Now campaigns, we have various campaigns here. Right now on the far left you see there is an event campaign, which again, that's more of an event, so it's not here all the time, but you got Heroes, Villains, Nexus, Cosmic, Mystic. These are all the campaigns that exist. So for Heroes, you can only use your hero characters. Villains, only villains. Nexus, you can use everyone. Cosmic, you can use your cosmic characters. And Mystic, you can use your mystic characters. Now this does actually change in Heroes, Villains, and Nexus at the last tiers of the campaign, but that's probably a very far ways away if you're just a new player in this game, but you will eventually need to prep for that. I have other stuff talking about that, but it's not as important. But it is a good idea to get as far as you can in these campaigns when you can, because it unlocks more opportunities for farming. Now, actually, this is something not everyone understands, so let me just give you a quick explanation of farming. Farming means, basically, as you can see here, there is Colossus here, and you get 2 shards potentially when you farm his node, or you spend the energy on his node. Farming is basically auto-winning these nodes in order to get the resources that are associated with it, in order to get more stars on your characters, or more gear to build up your characters. And every time you spend energy, you get XP, you get gold, you get some basic orb fragments, and you get some training modules, which I would love to show you, but it's not cooperating. There we go. Some training modules, and so on and so forth. So that is a very important part of it as well. But getting as far as the campaigns as possible opens as many different characters as you can possibly need to farm. Now here we go. Next we have BLITZ. BLITZ is a mode which is hotly discussed on how important it is, but it is the most common way of releasing characters, so that it is good to learn how to be as efficient as possible with BLITZ. So just a quick overview of that, nothing too specific. A good way of dealing with it is actually being able to save your squads. So make your teams and build them up in a way that you would use them. You will unlock a feature called Saved Squads, in which you can see here, go to Change Team. You pick a team, you have whatever characters that you have, and then you can click this button there, and it'll save it, which will put it on a list like this, so on and so forth. And I recommend, especially for newer players in the game, ooh, that team is stronger now, organizing it in a way where it's the lowest power to the highest power. And then when you do a blitz rotation, start with your lowest power team and move your way up, 1 battle at a time, to your highest power team. That will maximize the amount of resources as possible. And then from there on, stick with the teams that you believe can win and reuse them whenever it is free to do so. And get as many points as possible, ideally getting the milestones at an early point, but eventually you want to get as many points as possible with the time that you have in order to get extra ranked rewards, because ranked rewards are pretty nice. But again, Blitz takes a lot of time, and you might want to be a little more conservative with your time for some other modes, and depending on how things are in your schedule. Then you have Alliance Raids. This is where things start getting very important. So one of the biggest pieces of advice I could possibly give to you as a new player, find a good alliance. Yeah, find a good alliance. An alliance that's going to be as active as you are, willing to push for the same things, and you kind of meet in ideals. The best way I can explain to do that is to download Discord on your phone. It is a chat messaging service thing, which is very commonly used for this game. Join one of the official Discord servers for the game, or even my Discord server, and I can send you to a more proper, more built-up Discord server from there even, and post a screenshot of your player page. So you click that here, and then you'll find a page like this. Take a screenshot of this and post it in a little channel in that called Looking for an Alliance, and explain what you're looking for, or how active you are, and people will reach out to you like crazy, and then you can find an alliance to join, because these raids are very important. Do them every day, participate, as I haven't joined yet, but I just launched them to be fair, because these get you tons of rewards, both for every single node you take, for every completion of raids if you reach certain tiers, so percentages of completion, and every 2 weeks you get raid season rewards, which are also very useful. My computer is dying, which is why the screen just tinted, if you can see that as well. Oh well, don't have much of a choice now. I've already started recording, and I don't have a lot of time. But yes, do as much raids as possible, contribute, and join an alliance that's in a good position like you. Another thing that's going to come with alliance is donate. Donate 10k gold every day. It's best for everyone. It gets you start tech, which helps you build your characters, but I don't want to go too much into detail about that. But basically, it's just you spend the currency that you receive for donating in exchange for upgrades to certain types of characters. Alliance War is another mode which involves your entire roster, similar to Blitz, but it is your whole alliance fighting another alliance. It is a really big and important mode with great rewards, but again, at the same point, it's gonna take a while to be fully ready for that. But just do your best and make sure to be active. Activity is king in this game. That is the majority of the main alliance modes. You move into Dark Dimension here, which gets you specialized rewards. It's almost like a raid that resets your roster, but holds its progress every single day until you finish it. The first of these Dark Dimensions, you get what you can enter with 5 6-star characters. Do not farm anything specifically for that. You'll get your characters up there eventually. It's better to plan for Dark Dimension 2 and Dark Dimension 3. Dark Dimension 2, you need 5 tier 13 characters. One of the best options is Minerva and Star-Lord, or you can go with the symbiote type characters. There are other options as well, but just quick information there. Mr. Sinister is another good option, and he is actually available really early on in the game, and a great character. And Dark Dimension 3 is tier 14 characters and some more specifics, but you really don't need to worry about Dark Dimension 3 right off the bat, as it is a bit more of a late game mode. Now, a quick mention, there is live PvP in this game, which means you can play other people live that are on your contact list or in your alliance. But currently, there are no rewards, even if there have been announced that there are rewards planned, so it's not as important, other than doing a few battles to get some free rewards just for trying out the mode. Make sure you do that. So that leaves us with the last little bit, is the stores. All of these stores have some great stuff in them. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the stores and what you should be looking for, roughly speaking. Well, first off, in the main store here, you're spending your gold in exchange for resources. At the beginning, you're going to be buying probably green and blue, which is going to be necessary because you're going to actually need it, but at the same point, it's not going to help you a very long term. Purple gear then will follow, as you're going to definitely need a lot of purple gear. Do not buy character shards for power cores. Horrible deal. Eventually then, when you reach my state, you're buying almost entirely orange gear and ability materials for a time, but eventually you won't need that either. As you can see, I have about 21,000, so not so important for me. But these orange ability materials, or orange gear, can be very important, especially anything that costs about 36,000 or 72,000, or however much this would have cost before I bought it. I can't tell you that. But there are things called superior uniques and superior mini uniques. Those are very important. And these superior basic catalysts become important when you're working for Dark Dimension 3. Until then, not that crazy important. So you're going to want to try and prioritize stuff that is going to be important in the long run, but buy the gear that you need to go along at the same time. In the Blitz store, it is a bit more of a controversial thing to say nowadays, because there's a lot of good and important characters. There's also now some catalysts, which you may or may not need. I would not recommend buying any improved basics. I personally wouldn't recommend buying any advanced basics, but some people would. And superior basics are very expensive, but if it's an emergency situation, you can do that. You can buy war resources, which eventually become almost necessary for everyone to be buying, but you don't need to buy it that early on in the game. So there are two theories. You make a game plan for what you're trying to build towards, or characters that you're specifically trying to unlock. For example, you can farm Guardians and Ravagers to 5 stars to unlock a legendary character, Star-Lord. These legendary characters are very important and can make your roster a lot better much quicker. So in order to do that, you could decide to go to the Blitz store and buy someone like Mantis or Gamora or Ravager Boomer down here, as those characters will help you unlock Star-Lord. So you can do something like that where you plan out the characters that you buy based on the legendaries you're going for, which is completely a legitimate option. There are also Blitz Orbs, which are the best value, except it is random RNG. So these Blitz Orbs, you basically open it, you get some, for 350 Blitz credits, you get some gold and 5 character shards of anyone in the store, which you can see is actually less than you would be spending for anyone here. The issue is that you're not going to get specific characters at any given point. The gold is nice, so I've kind of seen value in both ends. So my best recommendation is make a plan to determine what you're trying to work towards, and when you have extra, you can buy some BLITZ orbs to kind of build up the rest of your roster as well, because all of these shards are going to be useful. Raid store here, there's some character shards which are going to be helpful. You're going to need to farm some of these characters, but there's also some gear, and you're probably going to get a lot of raid credits as you go on. So I would recommend sticking with the purple, maybe some orange gear, which is, again, for you, you probably don't need right away. But some orange gear is nice to have in the long run, but you probably don't need it right now. And then the character shards for early on, very helpful. Then we have arena. You really only have the options of some shards here, or some orbs which are not helpful for newer players, so do not worry about the kingpin orbs. The best options here are plan for legendaries around this arena store and farm characters for that, but there are also some very good characters that don't help with legendaries, but you might want to stick with that afterwards. Again, I'm going to be making a full who to farm and who to focus type guide in the near future, where I'll be talking a little bit more about which characters you should be farming and when and what their purposes are. But for now, I think just make a good plan, and legendary focus is probably a good start. Then you have this war store. This war store is full of insanely valuable resources. My recommendation, if you don't waste the resources on anything below orange gear. That purple gear, while it's nice value and you can get a lot of good stuff, these war credits are huge. You can be getting superior uniques, superior mini uniques, like this vibranium here is a superior unique, and this is a superior mini unique. Both of these are very sought after gear in the long term of this game. You can even get some superior basic catalysts, which again, when you're going for high-end stuff, is necessary. But if you don't need that, there's so many important characters to get out of this store, such as Carnage, Sif, Mr. Sinister. So those shards are the really important things to be getting, and some high-end gear. And then we also have things like red stars and promotion credits. All of that's not so very important at this level of the game. Speaking of which, I'm actually looking for a character to promote, which he's not in this store at this point. But it is very important to just have a plan for your resources and stick to that, which is another reason why I highly recommend downloading Discord, just so you can kind of get some information about this. If you do want to join my personal Discord for this channel, there's a link in the video description. Feel free to join and ask any questions you may have. I'm always glad to answer. Or send me messages on it directly, that's fine too, and I'll be glad to answer that at the same point. I just wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to some other important resources. I think Discord is the most important resource for this game, but another good resource is a website called msf.gg. It gives you so much information about so many things. I can't even really go over it in such a short time. I just recommend check it out. It'll give you information about characters, their kits, raids, gear, so many things that you can get good information for. Highly recommend checking it out. And finally, Marvel Strike Force puts out a blog post every single Friday. You can actually find a link to these blog posts on a Discord server if you join it, or you can actually go to marvelstrikeforce.com and read these blog posts. You get a lot of good information there, which will be pretty helpful to have. It's usually about stuff coming to the game in the future, so it's pretty good. It gives you an idea of how to plan. Anyways, there's a lot of resources that I put out and some of the other content creators for this game put out that are going to help you best prepare. But anyways, I think this was just an attempt of getting a bunch of information to you as quick as possible so you can get a better feel for this game. If you think I missed anything, or if you have any further questions, feel free to let me know in the comments, or again, you can join my Discord with the link in the video description and ask me there, and I'll be glad to answer. I do hope that you enjoy this, and I really hope that this helped. And as always, I'm here to help.